My life is defined solely by my passion, fishing. I'm serious about it and basically it dominates my free time. I fish a lot of tournaments and stuff. I'm also sponsored by a magazine called Carp Pro that I write and provide content for. And I'm sponsored by Johnson Ross Tackle in England, which is a pretty big tackle company. A defining moment that sticks out in my mind was pretty recent, when I took first place in Big Fork Carp in a tournament called the Lake Fork Carp and Buffalo Challenge, along with my partner Shane. It's a pretty big tournament, over 40 teams competing with over $10,000 on the line split between all the categories. Around April of last year, I started this huge campaign on Fork in order to prepare for the tournament, with the peak of it being in November. During this time I was still at school, of course, at least part of it. And my week was made up of prepping gear and bait, checking water levels, wind directions, Google Maps, weather forecasts, that kind of stuff. The second school would end on Friday, I'd race home, load up the kayak and all of my gear, and make the 2-hour drive to Lake Fork. We'd set up and fish the entire weekend. This may seem crazy, but it's no different than any other sport or activity. Being successful requires the amount of effort to make it happen. I questioned my sanity several times for doing what I did, but I spent so much time on Fork over those several months, over 40 nights on the bank, that I know the lake better than basically any other carp angler in the area. It was hard. It may not seem like it's actually something that can physically be hard. I mean, it's fishing after all, but doing what I did takes a lot of effort. We would get to the lake, set everything up as fast as we possibly could, and go dump, quite literally, 50 pounds of bait into the water to get the fish into the area for the next day. Just unloading the amount of gear that we take with us is pretty hard, and setting it all up is a massive pain. Though my least favorite part is lugging it all back to the truck. They say the journey is the reward, and that's at least part of it, but the result of these trips is what keeps me going. I know a lot of you have ideas about fishing, but this is completely different and we take it to a whole new level. My massive efforts and time spent on the water resulted in a pretty impressive list of captures by anyone's standards. My biggest thus far is my claim to fame. In November, I landed a buffalo weighing a massive 63 pounds 3 ounces, which is a junior world record for that species. It also smashed my own previously held world record of 50 pounds 6 ounces for the same species. I've had many other captures that are also pretty good in comparison to everyone else that's putting time into Fork. My best carp, only caught a couple weeks ago, stands as the third largest out of Fork at 36 pounds 10 ounces. I've had a handful of other 40 plus buffalo and tons of carp into the 20 pound range, with a few pushing 30. I could consider myself lucky, but the reward only comes after you sacrifice the time it takes to succeed on this level. For me, that sacrifice was the numerous hours of waiting, hundreds of pounds of bait, money for gas, and overall time log that produce what I've accomplished. It's been a wild ride on Fork up until now, and it's a journey that's really tested my skill and abilities, not just in my angling, but for me as a person. Society may seem like it's on the verge of breakdown in lieu of recent news events that have remained on the radar for the past few months. Riots, corruption, war, instability, fear, panic, loss of life, etc. To many people, we are past the point of no return and we're destined for failure. I believe the opposite. As crazy as it may seem to some, I believe our society is still on the rise. There are enough good people left in this world to cancel out the bad, to bring aid to the hurt, to bring justice to the evil, to douse the fires. Even in the darkest of times, we'll prevail solely because of the presence of people that are still willing and able to help, the people that actually run toward explosions, the people that donate to those without homes. As far as myself, I don't know what the future may bring, but I'm ready for it. I'll continue to set and reach goals for myself. And, of course, continue to be that kid that was ruined by trash fish.